Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for coming in our presentation. We are from the second group, and in this change, we would like to discuss about phonetic and phonology. But before we start the presentation, I would like to introduce the member of the group too. There are Qorina Aulia Syifa, Afkar Mumtaz, Anom Yusup, Alsya Aulia, Azzahrah Dalilah, and Bilqis Adilla. So, let's restart the presentation.
Phonetics and phonology. Number 1, definition of phonetic and phonology. Number 2, distinction of phonetic and phonology. Number 3, types of phonetic and phonology. And 4, example of phonetic and phonology. What is phonetics? Definition of phonetics is a branch of linguistics that studies how humans produce and perceive sounds, or in the case of sign languages, the equivalent aspect of sign. Phonetics may also define as the science which studies the characteristic of human making, especially those sounds used in speech. It is concerned with the substance of speech sounds, and not directly with their linguistic status. It explains the way sounds are produced and perceived. In addition, it provides methods for their description, classification, and transcription. Jadi, fonetik ini merupakan sebuah cabang linguistik yang mempelajari bagaimana manusia menghasilkan dan merasakan suara. Lalu, fonetik juga didefinisikan sebagai ilmu yang mempelajari karakteristik pembuatan suara manusia, terutama suara-suara yang digunakan dalam berbicara. And here there are 3 types of study of the sound of language. Di sini ada 3 jenis study tentang suara dalam bahasa. The first, acoustic phonetics. The second, auditory phonetics. And the third, articulatory phonetics. Acoustic phonetics, the study of the physical properties of sounds. Acoustic phonetics is also concerned with the physical properties of speech sounds as transmitted between mouth and ear. It involves description of the physical characteristic of the sound wave. Jadi acoustic phonetics ini studi yang mempelajari tentang sifat fisik suara berkaitan dengan sifat fisik suara ucapan seperti yang ditularkan antara mulut dan telinga. Acoustic phonetics ini melibatkan deskripsi karakteristik fisik dari gelombang suara. Untuk auditory phonetics is the study of the way listeners perceive and sounds. Auditory phonetics also as mediated by ear, auditory nerve, and brain. Jadi, auditory phonetics ini adalah studi yang tentang cara pendengaran melihat suara dan auditory phonetics ini berkaitan dengan respon persepsi terhadap suara ucapan seperti yang dimediasi oleh telinga, saraf, pendengaran, dan otak. And next, articulatory phonetics, the study of how the vocal tracts produce the sounds. Okay, I think it's enough from me, and the next material will be explained by Afkar.
The first example I take it you already know of tooth and bow and chow and dough. The second example, and that it said like bad, not bit. For goodness sake, don't call it it. And this the is distinction between spelling and sounds led to the formation of the international phonetic alphabet. The symbols used in this alphabet can be used to represent all sounds of all human language. The following is the American English phone alphabet: P, pill; B, bill; M, meal; F, fill; V, fill; D, deal; N, nil; S, seal; Z, zil; G, jill; H, hill; E, bait; W, which; and etc. What is phonology? Phonology is about patterns of sounds, especially different patterns of sounds in different language, or within each language different pattern of sounds in different position in word etc. Thank you.
Phonological rules. Assimilation. Sounds become more like neighboring sounds, allowing for ease of articulation or pronunciation, such as vowels are nasalized before nasal consonants. Harmony. Non-adjacent vowels become more similar by sharing a future or set of futures, common in Finnish. Gemination. Sound becomes identical to an adjacent sound. Regressive assimilation. Sound on left is the target, and sound on right is the trigger. Phonology looks at many different things. Number 1. Why do related forms differ? Sample: sane, sanity; electric, electricity; or atom and atomic. Phonology finds the systematic ways in which the forms of differ and explains them. Number 2. What is stored in the mind? Phonology studies abstract mental entities, such as structures and processes. This contrasts with phonetics, which deals with the actual production and acoustics of the sounds of language. Number 3. What sounds go together? Looks at what sounds or sound combinations are accepted and why. Phonology can be related to many linguistic disciplines, including psycholinguistics, cognitive science, sociolinguistics, and language acquisition. Principles of phonology can also be applied to treatments of speech pathologies and innovation in technology. In terms of speech recognition, systems can be designed to translate spoken data into text. In this way, computers process the language like our brains do. The same processes that occur in the mind of human when producing and receiving language occur in machines. One example of machines decoding language is the popular intelligent system Siri.
Manners of articulation. Place of articulation. Bilabial lips together. Labiodental lower lips again from teeth. Interdental tongues between teeth. Alveolar tongues near alveolar right on roof of mouth. In between teeth and hard fillet. Postalveolar tongue toward soft fillet. Philatel tongues of hard fillet. Filar tongues near velum. Glottal speech between vocal flutes. Vowels are produced by a continuous air stream and all are voiced. At least in English, Japanese does have voices vowels hamper. Example, hig, more or less high or more or less low. Bigness, more or less big. Lipron, more or less road. Tenseness, more or less tenses. Consonants are produced as are from the lag is passed through the glottis, the opening between the vocal cord, as out the mouth. Now, they are classified according to voicing, aspiration, nasal, or oral sound, the fields of articulation and manner of articulation. Voicing is whether the vocal fluid vibrate or not. The sound S is called voiceless because there is no vibration. And the sound Z is called voiced because the vocal fluid do vibrate. Phonology versus phonetics, the key difference. Phonology is connected with the abstract, whereas phonetic is connected with the physical properties of sound. In phonetic, we can see infinite realization. For example, every time you say a P, it will slightly different than the other time you said harmful. In phonology, all production are the same sound within the language phoneme in story. Therefore, even though every P is produced slightly different every time, the actual sound is the same. This highlights a key difference between phonetic and phonology, as even though no two P's are the same, they represent the same sound in the language.
Minimal pairs are words with different meanings that have the same sounds except for one. These contrasting sounds can either be consonants or vowels. The word pin and bin are minimal pairs because they are exactly the same except for first sound. What are the differences between languages? For example, different languages can use different phonemes or different syllable structure, or what sounds can go together to make sequences or words. And phonology identifies these differences.
Phonemes and allophones. What is phonemes? Phonemes are the linguistically constructive or significant sounds of a language. It is usually demonstrated by the existence of minimal pairs. Then, what is minimal pairs? Minimal pairs are pairs of words which vary only by the identity for the segment, or it's like another word for a single speech sound. The next one, there are allophones. What is allophones? Allophones are sounds, while phonemes is a set of such sounds. Allophones are usually relatively similar sounds which are in mutually exclusive or complementary distribution, aka CD. So, it means that two tones can never be found in the same environment. So, if two sounds are similar and they are in the CD or in the complementary distribution, then they can be assumed to be allophones of the same in the phonemes. These are the example of phonemes and allophones. For the plural nouns, they are cats, tips, love, dads, beeps, ducks, kisses, judges, and crutches. For the past tense, they are kiss, wish, coughed, loved, teased, joked, petted, wedded, and seeded. Well, before we close our presentation, I would like to give you some conclusion. So, the points are: the system of general phonetics description given most prominence, and the system of describing English phonology could be described as a classical articulatory approach. Their clear, their clear physical correlates mean that sounds, though they are not quite as easily segmentable in speech as they may seem. So, thank you very much for your great attention, and may all of those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.